a Zoom call. So, all right, we're recording, Rich.
Wait, so why are you wearing that shirt?
I literally walked into my closet and I was like, all right, this is going to be a fun new experience. What is the one piece of clothing in here that I'd wear the absolute least? What is this?
Word.
I was like, what the fuck do I even have this shirt for? I never wear it. Never wear it. So I was like, I'll wear it once and then I'll get rid of it. I'll give it away. But that's the genesis behind this shirt.
Solid.
But anyway.
This is like my nice t-shirt-ish. I don't know.
But where'd you just come from, the gym?
Yeah, I was playing basketball outside, but
that's the baseball tee.
Say it again?
That's the baseball tee, right? You got black sleeves where it's like the black sleeves. So you have a sleeve color. Oh, it's a short sleeve.
No, it's short sleeve.
You know what I'm talking about with baseball tees though?
Not really.
Think about like the classic white, like white body.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like your shirt.
Yes, I see what you're saying.
I love baseball tees.
They're solid for sure.
Solid. Where were you balling at?
In Manchester, New Hampshire. The best basketball players come from here. Actually, Nerlens Noel played here, and Donovan Mitchell played at Tilton, which is also in New Hampshire.
He played where? Tilton?
Tilton Academy.
Oh, I thought he was from, okay. Nerlens Noel, but like Nerlens Noel is one of those guys where it was like he played for like a New Hampshire team. He's like living in Florida or some shit.
Oh, the same with Donovan Mitchell though.
Yeah, most of those guys, right?
But Wendell Gabriel is literally from like just down the road. He played
Kentucky guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Wow. There's a
he kind of flamed out though, right?
Yeah, he did. But his attributes are so insane. You know, like Rudy Gobert, for example, it took him like a couple years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To fill out his frame. Like,
where did he go to school? You don't think he did, right? He was like straight from France or some shit. He didn't go to college.
Yeah, but like for Rudy to be, like he's just so like long that like it takes a while to fill out that frame.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I mean, you had that experience a little bit too, right? With basketball.
Yeah. I was just always like,
I think that's a bigger guy problem.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like you have to deal with like two different parts. Like most normal people, like you deal with like the mental growing into your, growing into your body, so to speak. You know, like when you're in your teens, your early 20s, like you're in right now, you're still trying to figure out your body. But Mike, from a mental standpoint, and then physically, it's kind of similar for you big guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I had it like this. I had like this much of a version, just because I grew tall early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You peaked in high school.
I peaked in like 7th grade.
Sure.
No, I remember that, dude. Not very vividly, but
you're just a monster. Drop steps all day.
So tall, really early.
Yeah.
And then everyone just kind of caught up.
What's crazy is the school that I work at right now, the kids are my height. Like there are like 6 kids that are my height. Like one kid's like there are 3 kids who claim that their parents are like 7'4".
Any talent? Any basketball talent?
It'd be pretty good. I want to stay away from talking about students though. I feel like it's what's it called? Like privacy stuff. As long as I don't identify them, but like it's just
Yeah. I was gonna try to say I'm not microdosing on shrooms, but sometimes sometimes shit comes out. Now this one, Rich really meant just to be for fun, just to see, just to play around.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah. Yesterday.
I need to figure out how to work this volume, dude, because you're not. I can hear you, but not that well.
Here, let me see if I'm coming out of my.
I don't know why. Whenever I hook up my HDMI, I can't like control the volume on my keypad.
How about now?
Say something.
Hello.
It's kind of the same. I think it's on my end. Let me see. Not really. Anyway, tell me about this setup, Rich. What have you been doing with that mic?
What have I been doing with this mic? Just gaming.
That's all you use that mic for?
Yeah. I mean, I tried to record a couple things, but I just like,
Where were you going?
Got lazy. Didn't finish editing.
What's behind you? A closet?
No, that's outside my room to the kitchen.
Oh shit! So nobody can like really sneak attack you?
No chance. They're dead. Spider guard immediately. I don't even know how to do that one, but
speaking of spider guard, I think I might have staff. I think.
That's disgusting.
I mean, obviously I'm not that flexible to show it, but like I had like a blister on the side of my foot from running, like when I was up in New York, because I was running all the time. And it's like no big deal. But then last night I was rolling around doing a lot of dude, no-gi. It's so funny how slippery no-gi is compared to gi. I always forget that. I always forget it. But anyway, so I was just like, what's up?
You have a rash guard, right?
Yeah, but you know, it's on my foot. It's on like the side.
Oh, your foot. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was listening to one of Rogan's podcasts with Craig Jones and Alex Volkanovski. And they were just talking about how common staph is. And it was just like, you know, when you hear something a lot, you're like, oh, maybe that thing I've been wondering about is that. Yeah. So I don't know. So I sent a picture to Robbie and he was like,
family doctor. The family Robbie's just gonna get abused. He's gonna give so much free treatment out.
Yeah, but he's very like, he doesn't waste any time. Like, what did he say? He texted me. No. I was like, is this staph? He was like, no. When did it start? I sent him a picture. Could be hand, foot, mouth disease. I was like, what the fuck is that?
You have a foot fetish, Andrew? You might
that's what I was like, is this a dig at me? Like, I didn't know. And I was like, should I just go to Minute Clinic?
Robbie's like, what freaky shit are you into, Andrew?
Yeah, so no, I was like, I'm probably just going to Minute Clinic or something just to get it checked out. But anyway, hey, the life of a grappler, right?
Dude, I would know about it, unfortunately.
When's the last time you got on the mats?
Does the pool in Miami count?
The what?
The pool in Miami.
Oh, true. Yeah, fair enough.
I was dogging John. Without gravity, I'm insane. I think seriously, the last time I rolled, December. But
yeah,
when I go back to DC, especially if John's in the area, I mean, if we went to 50-50 jiu-jitsu with Ryan
talking about it.
That would be insane.
What are we talking about?
All leg locks all day.
Dude, just a nasty like 6'7" guy with just a crazy leg lock in.
Too overpowered.
Ridiculous. I was trying to watch. I got Donaher's leg lock system on BJJ Fanatics a while ago. I have like 4 total videos. I haven't finished. I haven't made a legit dent in either of those or any of those 4. But I was watching a little bit yesterday. It's just like watching videos is one thing. Like you really have to like watch videos while you're on a mat. It's like, it's so hard.
I feel like you could watch those videos though if you had someone to like, oh, like let's watch it. Okay, let's do it. You know what I mean? I feel like that would work out really well.
You'd have to have a pretty like gay relationship in a sense, and not in like a homosexual gay way, but like you'd have to be sitting there like putting it on the screen and like, all right, let's practice, minute 14. Like you'd have to go through it like that. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, that shit's wild, man. It's like one of those weird things. I mean, because I have I have one of Donaher's leg locks, and then I have 3 of Gordon Ryan's. And it's funny because I'm pretty sure all of them I purchased, I was in bed somewhat late at night, just thinking about jiu-jitsu. And you get this like weird like thought in your mind where it's like, if I just pay $200, I'm going to get all these skills.
Yeah.
It's like, unfortunately, it does not work that way.
Not at all.
Not at all. Not even close.
And there's so much free shit online. But in a way, you're just supporting their greatness,
Yeah, they give me some like, that's how I like to excuse it for myself. Like a lot of times with anything, I'll just be like, like especially like YouTube shit. You get so much free content from those guys. It's like, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking about trying to get into judo first when I go back, and then just do judo first, and then go jujitsu.
Why?
Judo is black
on your body.
Yeah, and that's what kind of pushing me against it. Then the other part of me is like, oh, maybe taekwondo. Maybe I'll go back into karate. I don't know. Yeah,
you've got that weird predicament where just because like, I mean, you're not a rookie in jiu-jitsu, but I mean, we all know like.
I'm a rookie.
But like. Yeah, I was trying to, it's hard to describe. It's like you don't know nothing, but you know enough to know you know nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm in the space.
Yeah, like I'm not going to be on the mat being pissed, like using my strength every time.
Exactly.
Unless I'm rolling with John. If I'm rolling with John, I'm going all out. Like I cannot lose. Too.
Well, it's like with you, and I think we've talked about this before, but just because you're naturally physically bigger, you're probably going to have not if you roll with like guys that know what they're doing. They're not going to come at you, right? Because they're not trying to overcompensate. but some of the smaller guys might be. So you got to deal with that.
That's true.
Because like, I mean, honestly, knock on wood, I haven't really had any major like head contact issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're, and that's the other thing is like you have the other body type. Like I'm tall and long, and then you're
Fat.
like, I was gonna say short and stocky, but you're not even short, but you're like, you know what I mean? You have like a bigger belly, you have bigger arms than the average person, you know? So
yeah, I guess I kind of have a decent like that 6'1". I like to say 6'2", but I guess on the mat I'm like 6'2".
on Tinder 6'2".
No, on Tinder, dude. What was it? Where was I? Where I heard somebody, I forgot actually.
5'11", but on Tinder I'm 6 foot.
No. Somebody to me was like, I was like, no, I'm like 6'2", 6'1", 6'2", and somebody like legit was like, no, you're like 6'3". And I think I was like had the right shoes on, a little puffy.
You're just feeling
You
yourself
know, like
out there, huh?
no, this was all like leading up to that person saying that, and then I was like, you know what? Maybe I am. And I remember like I added it into like Hinge at the time because I was like feeling myself, and I was like, fuck it, let's just.
So my best friend, you know, I'm not gonna name him though, and he's incredibly tall, and he's always like, oh, you're 6'7", you might even be 6'8". But now I've started to realize like it might be because he's not as tall as he says he is.
Oh,
so like he's trying to boost me to.
Yeah, it's all a big Ponzi scheme. You just like gotta.
It's all. It's a, what's it called?
No, dude,
what's the thing? Triangle scheme? Triangle pyramid scheme.
Pyramid. Close.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Illuminati, sign us.
We don't need to bore the shit out of people trying to talk about the difference between a triangle and a pyramid. That'd be an interesting one. Well, what's the for those that might not know, Richie and I are cousins. One of the ways we know each other. But my mom said that you were in Boston.
Yeah.
What was that about?
We just went up for a friend's birthday.
Okay. How far is that from where you are?
Town, 40 minutes.
Oh, so it's easy.
Manchester's a great city. It's kind of sad that like a lot of young people don't live here. But the thing is, you're 40 minutes away from the beach. You're 40 minutes away from Boston. You're 2 hours from like Acadia. You're near every single mountain.
What the fuck's Acadia?
It's like the best national park in America. It's like for camping. It's like in Maine. It's like super remote.
Okay.
It's a great place. The air's clean.
That's gotta be. I mean, dude, I was just in New York. I was up. I think I told you this, but my girl lives in Lower East Side, and
she lives in the Lower East Side.
What's that?
She lives in the Lower East Side.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I was telling this to you or your dad.
We'll talk about that later, like off camera, because you know I grew up in the Lower East Side.
No, okay, so it wasn't with you then. I guess I was talking to your dad about it. Because I guess they were down here for Easter, maybe. I don't know. Not too long ago.
My dad's not a real New Yorker. He's from upstate.
But I was showing him a picture because like she's got this really cool view outside of her window where there's this public school, like I think it's an elementary school right there, and you could see like the Freedom Tower right there. So it's really cool. The point being is there's nothing obstructing her view really from like downtown or Wall Street.
That's cool.
But yeah, your dad was like, I think that's where Richard went to elementary school. But I think we were talking about before, and it was actually one closer to the water, like further east.
I went to a bunch of different schools. So I went to
it was off Houston, right?
Huh?
Was one of them off Houston?
I don't remember the street. One was the American Deaf School in Manhattan. Because I went to deaf school for 2 years. I went to Chinese school for like a week. I went to seriously. And then I went to Nest Plus M, which is like way on the Lower East Side. It's like it's literally a square. Like the building is a square. So if that's how it looked.
It does.
Yeah. And it was at like gates at the sides. Like there were these black gates and there was like concrete under it.
I don't know about the gates, but there's like right on the front is a park, like, or not a park, but like a playground.
Yeah, but like there's like the square is like around it, and then there's a playground in the middle.
I don't know. Maybe we'll dive into this more some other time, I guess. But but I think it was close. Whether maybe it's not the one, but it was close by.
Oh,
but anyway, on Memorial Day,
mm-hmm.
we did something I still want to do is like walk around all of Manhattan, like the entire perimeter.
Gosh, that'd
It'd be legit. It'd be like an 8-hour hike, probably, right? And probably a little bit more. But we did from Houston Street. So are you familiar with Houston Street?
You give me avenues.
What's that?
Give me avenues.
Mm.
It's been too long. Like
Houston goes horizontal across the island.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of right near the Holland Tunnel. It's like
okay.
Main streets to go.
Yeah, if it's near the Holland Tunnel. Okay.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
So we walked basically from down. So we're kind of on that east part. We walked all the way down to past Seaport, all the way around Wall Street, and then back up on the other side, all the way up to the, I guess the West Village. And it was like, 9 miles?
Okay.
From start to finish. But it was, Monday was beautiful. Because like Saturday and Sunday, I don't know what y'all's weather was like up there, but in New York City, it was like shitty. It was just so rainy. So rainy. So then Monday was like that perfect clouds open, the sun comes through kind of weather.
Boston was trash rain wise. It was like muggy. It wasn't actually that muggy, but it was just like gloomy. But also it like reminded me of England. So I was like kind of happy with it. Like it was raining. It kind of reminded me of London. And I was like, oh, that's what they call New England.
Was it that same latitude kind of?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Mass. Look at the map.
Mass is right here. Yeah, it's like a little bit off. Like I would say like this much different.
Like
on the map.
Higher or lower?
Mass is a little bit lower.
Okay. Yeah, I always forget that. London's up there. That's why it's got that shitty climate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's going on, dude? When's school out for summer?
Oh, the districts ends like the 16th, I think. So
when are you done? So you're done
2 days after.
2 days
for
after.
like our organization's thing.
What do you guys have, like a couple staff meetings after?
Something like that, yeah. Graduation and whatnot from the organization. Yeah, and then
speaking of graduation, dude, I haven't talked to you since that speech. My mom shared some clips.
Oh yeah,
fucking proud of you. That's so cool.
Dude, I appreciate it. Yeah. What'd you say?
How was it?
It was good. Like giving the speech, I didn't think it was as good as people told me it was after.
How did it feel in the moment? Because I know you've got a decent amount.
Just zone out.
You just kind of zone out. Yeah.
Yeah, I just like when you get a hot hand of basketball.
Yeah.
Like it feels good. Like and then you miss one, but then you get back in, and you're just like,
yeah. You're not phased. So yeah, if you're like thinking in that moment, it's like a lot of things, right? As soon as you start thinking, you're already kind of losing it.
Yeah, and it's like when I ran for office, for example, like it felt like that. Like there was one debate. It was like a town hall thing. And like there was like 200, 300 people in an enclosed space pre-COVID. And then there's like 8 candidates. And then like the way it just like, you should go into this zone, and like, it felt like exactly like that, but better. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm actually getting better at that kind of stuff. So kind of,
I'd imagine, right? Yeah, you keep flexing that muscle.
Yeah, for sure. But it's not a muscle you can flex. You can't flex that muscle all the time though. Like that's what's unfortunate. You know what I mean? There's not that many opportunities to do stuff like that.
You just got to go get up on a soapbox in the middle of some square and just
start doing stand-up. Start doing stand-up.
Hey, why not, man? Why not? Dude, I'm so pissed. I still haven't gone to the Comedy Cellar yet since I keep going to New York and I keep not going.
How could you?
What's that?
Gotta see Schultz, bro. Gotta see Schultz.
Dude, yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be up there. So what's today? We're filming this on a Friday. Yeah. So next Thursday, I'm going up to New Jersey for my buddy's wedding.
Okay.
So one of my fraternity brothers, I'm still, pretty talk all the time. But a bunch of the other guys that we went to school with who weren't, it's like one lives out in San Fran, someone lives down in South Carolina. So everyone's going to be in the same place together for the first time in a long time. So I'll be excited. So we're going to have a rager weekend next weekend. But then that following week, I'm going to be hanging out in New York City. So definitely going to go next week.
That's cool.
Because there's been, who's gone by? Like,
did you get John's at Bleecker Street yet for pizza?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Is that in Soho or is that in?
Are we even blood related?
What's that?
How could you not get John's at Bleecker Street? The greatest pizza in New York City.
Honestly, I haven't had pizza in a hot minute. I was talking to my girlfriend about this the other day. I was like, I don't know. You start to try to eat healthy and pizza gets cut out pretty quick.
Yeah, it's true.
But I also just wasn't really craving it.
I'm gonna get pizza like right after this now.
Right after this podcast.
Fridays is my eat out day.
What do you mean? Like you go out and get something fun?
I think last week we did all you can eat sushi. $25. Great deal.
I still can't wrap my head around that concept of all you can eat sushi.
Uh-huh.
But sushi's so
expensive.
It's supposed to be, I thought.
Yeah, but I guess if you have that many specialized people in a place.
Is the place packed all the time?
Yeah, the place is pretty packed. It's so good. Shout out to Kasaki. Like we're at that level at all for podcasting.
I'll make sure I put that in the description as one of our sponsors. Go check out our sponsor, Kasaki. Dude, I guess that would be an ultimate win if somebody that knew Kasaki actually watched this podcast.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, this is what I want to say. So my friend and I were hooping, and there's like all these people, right? So we play basketball, whatever, play some games, start talking, right? The guy's like, oh, like, what do you do? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, I'm basically an assistant teacher, yada, yada, yada. But I'm trying to, get my master's to be a legitimate teacher, which I start soon. And he's like, oh, like, that's awesome. Like, you're a credit to the community, all this stuff. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. I was like, oh, what do you do? He's like, man, I sell drugs. And I was just like, word, we serve the community in different ways, my guy.
Oh my God. That is a good one, man. That is really funny. My mom told me that one. So unfortunately, it took a little bit of the the impact off. But that I was laughing when she told me that. That was pretty good. Yeah. That's crazy. Where is just pick up on the court?
Yeah. Not gonna say where. Protect him. But it's like, and then it's funny because like my mom, I told her this story, and she's like all worried and stuff. I'm just like, Mom, like, who I played with in DC, right? Like, yeah. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, basketball's got that unique ability to bring all types of people together.
For sure, it's great.
Yeah,
such a good game.
You how often do you play?
So lately, I've been playing every day.
Mm-hmm.
I did, yeah, because so after we went to Miami, and like after the vaccine, I gained like 20 pounds. Yeah, I went from like 213 to like 230, and it wasn't because like I don't think it had anything to do with the vaccine. It was just like the fact that like I was so tired all the time, and like I got lazy. I started eating like junk food. Like after the first few days,
the vaccine though, like isn't that like?
Huh?
But like correlation.
Maybe. Oh yeah. Like in that regard for sure. But like if I wanted to, like discipline wise, like I could have pushed through. It's just that I had class, I had work excuses. Which like whatever. But now I'm like, all right, like I need to buckle down. So I'm just working out, lifting, doing the normal.
Yeah. Interesting. Wait, so you were doing, because you already started classes for your master's program, right?
So I'm taking classes right now that are going to transfer.
Well, we might as well touch on that a little bit, because I know in the description, Rich, I was typing it up before we hopped on the call. I was like, Richard Bannock is Richard Bannock is an educator, political candidate,
trying to be an educator,
and an all-around great guy.
Too kind.
So what are you doing?
For you, did it play Andrew, 6'3".
Tall guy.
So
what are you doing again at school? I know we talked about this, but you want to become a better educator.
I want to be a history teacher, and then maybe like theoretically down the road go into like education policy, like make sure the curriculum is designed universally to just foster, the growth and potential of like all students.
Wait, so hold on. So let me
super bland answer.
So like you're doing a master's in history or a master's in how to teach history?
It's a master's in teaching in secondary education with a specialization in secondary like in history and
Gotcha. So what does that curriculum look like? Have you looked at it much?
For history, it depends on the state.
Well, sorry, for your program, like what classes are you going to be taking? And stuff
oh, like yeah, I've taken a look at it. Just like the normal stuff. So like education philosophy, just like how to like methods in teaching, methods 2. There's like there's, you know, just like standard.
So how do they do? Is it kind of like in one side you've got like how to teach, and then the other side it's like straight up just learning about history? Like how do those two kind of come together?
Oh yeah, so no, it's almost all teaching oriented. Like you kind of, it's not that you have to learn the history stuff on your own, but it's like when you do your student teaching, that's when you're going to learn the history stuff. So you're learning right away. Like what's good about the program, I don't want to mention it, but what's great about the program that I'm doing, just because like I don't think they want to be affiliated, but you do one semester where you're working 2 days a week at a school, and you're just like learning all you can about the curriculum, right? And then you have another class that's like paired with it. And then the next semester, you're working 5 days a week. You're planning every single lesson. You're doing all that stuff. So the first year is like, you know, learning how to do it. Second year is like sink or swim, have fun.
Interesting.
But I like it that way.
Are you sinking or swimming in around the area? Or like where do you go to do that?
So yeah, they help you find like a partner school.
Could you be far away, or are you most likely going to be close by?
I'm gonna be
in the we can say in the DMV area.
Yeah, DMV. Yeah. DMV. You can choose DC, Maryland, or Virginia to get your licensure, which is really cool about this program. Yeah. But I'm trying to. I think I might get my licensure in New Hampshire too.
Yeah, man, big New Hampshire guy.
Yeah, I mean,
what's the state motto or the state slogan?
Live free or die, baby.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
It's like it's nice.
That is pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Have you random question, but so wait, is that a slogan or a motto?
That is like the state like thing.
What is that called though?
Slogan.
Slogan or something? Have you looked at all the state slogans by any chance?
Do you want to put? Let's have fun with that.
That's kind of curious because that's such a badass one. Like, there's got to be some other.
I bet there's some doubt that anyone.
Ones. That's hard to beat.
I feel like Texas is gonna be like, remember the Alamo or
something. What's the Alamo again?
I don't even know.
Great barbecue.
Great barbecue. Oh, well, this isn't it. Well, like New Hampshire is also called the Granite State.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't have like, so it's technically not, I guess it's not like the real slogan, maybe. But like the live free or die flag. Huh?
Interesting. Texas is just the Granite State. That's not the same thing, right?
No, that's New Hampshire's slogan.
Oh.
But like everyone just says live free or die is the slogan.
All right, Rich. Enough about the Granite State. Logan Paul, Floyd
nobody cares
on Sunday.
The viewer base is too small.
Shab's gonna be doing something there. Some commentary.
Is he gonna commentate? That's kind of hype.
I don't know if he's doing like the actual fight, but he's doing like a bunch of like pre-game interviews and shit like that.
Who you got?
So first of all, I don't know shit about boxing. Don't know shit about boxing. With that being said, obviously there's a lot of people commenting on the fight that don't know shit about fighting.
You're just like, I like Logan Paul's Jiu Jitsu. I think that's gonna put him over the top in this fight.
Yeah, I have to admit, man, I like the Paul brothers. I don't know why I'm in the minority. I think like at first maybe I can kind of understand why people don't like them because they can be
the Japanese thing, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, like yes, but I feel like we always do this where people love to project crucify people for shit. Like we have this whole thing in society where like, can you not come back from a mistake? Obviously there's degrees of mistakes, yada, yada, yada. But overall, this is a guy that's devoted most of his life. And I'm sure he's got some shitty parts about him. Everyone does.
For sure.
But he's an entertainer. He likes to entertain, and that's what makes him happy. Yeah. That's in my opinion, that's a net positive for the world. But yeah, that's shitty. And I don't even remember the whole details of it. Like, I think he's in a suicide forest.
Yeah.
So like, what you might run into, and then they filmed that for some content. Yeah. But he's also like 25. I mean, how old are you, Rich? 22?
23. I mean, like, he was just doing it for views though. Like, you also have to take into account like the YouTube times. Like, everything was all about like clickbait, you know? And he was like on that trend. So it's like, on one hand, like, what's the culture of YouTube that fosters things like that? You know what I mean? Not to like take away from his mistake, but it's like, if the environment all around you is bad, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, with some of my friends who come from like single parent households, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like, and like, will they, act the same way that like their dad did and just like leave? It's like, well, if they do, I don't know. I want to cut this out. That was a bad analogy.
Let's get deep into psychoanalytical theory.
That was terrible.
No, I hear you. But I mean, we all do that, right? I mean, and it's society, the media and society does that masterfully in a negative way, where you just kind of look at people and pick one thing and, you know, focus on that. But actually, it's really funny. Did you ever watch the Fighter and the Kid episode with Shinigami?
Oh, I watched part of it. I also saw another Shinigami fight where he like submitted the guy, and I was like, "Let's go, Shinigami!" I showed my friend. I was like, "This guy's the next up, bro. Ngannou has no chance."
Shinigami, dude. Well, like anyway, at the end of it, they were asking him about the fight, like his take on that, and he was just going off on Logan Paul, like saying how he hated. But like, it's just so interesting to me to see, like, okay, so we're taking an incident that Logan Paul did with the suicide forest, right? Which was a horrible thing. Cool, got it. But then you've got all these people like literally directing hate at him for that, being like, oh, I wish ill on him. Like he should, I don't know if Shinigami said this. I don't want to put words in the masterful Shinigami, but like people being like, he should die, or like they suck, yada, yada, yada. And it's like dude,
so aggressive.
It's like, whoa, yeah, like you're doing this similar kind of thing, different flavor, but similar.
And not to like devalue what he did, but like, it's just kind of like weird. Like that's such a strange thing to like get canceled for, you know what I mean? Like if it's like more of like a Me Too or like a, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you know,
in that sense.
Yeah, it's like very like, it's not like he said something racist. It's not like he committed a sexual assault. Like those are like what I usually would perceive as like canceling. So like, I just thought that was very, you know.
Yeah, no,
it's kind of unique in a way, a unique thing to get canceled.
Yeah, like who else has gotten canceled for that?
Yeah, he should put that on his wall, bro. Another accomplishment for Logan Paul.
Another YouTube gold trophy. He was anyway, so back to the fight. I was like really into, I mean, I think that's the cool thing about fighting in general, is you can get enamored with like how someone looks in training, and like, oh, like Logan's looking jacked, he looks like, did you see the video where he was fighting the Gronkowski brothers? But also guys that have no boxing experience. Great in that. It's also a video that.
Did you watch the KSI fights?
I don't think so.
If you watch those KSI fights, and again, so like, and then also preface for this, I don't know shit about boxing. I barely did any striking in my life. But the thing is, Logan Paul has a mean jab. He has a mean jab. But KSI was like, do you ever see Lyoto Machida fight?
Yeah, but not like, I don't really like remember it that much.
So it's like the karate blitz style, like, but it's very like, but the way Lyoto Machida did it was like very methodical, right? And KSI had like, I'm not trying to like shit on him and say he has no striking experience, but like you could see like he's loading punches. He has less of a wingspan, and like Logan Paul wasn't taking advantage of his size advantage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He was how many months into like fighting at that? Like how much experience did he have?
Yeah, like, not a lot, but like, but like that's the thing. Jake Paul, for example, like some people have power, some people don't, right? And I feel like it's possible all those years of wrestling kind of like took away from like Logan Paul's like fast twitch. I don't know if that's like, I don't know if there's science behind that.
That's some bro science right there.
Well, like for example, if you lift, right, and you can't train hypertrophy and power efficiently at the same time. You have to go for like a hypertrophy phase to maximize muscle growth, and then you go power phase to maximize strength. But if you do both at the same time, you're going to be like okay at both, but it would be nowhere near as if you periodized, right? So it's the same thing with wrestling, right? It's all slow twitch, it's all isometric, and then it's like,
I get what you're saying. And there's obviously that genetics component too. It's like when you see guys in the UFC, you'll see guys that are just like first team all body killers. Like, you know, Kamaru Usman is probably a good example of maybe both, but then also guys that don't really have that.
Arms. Just kidding.
Then you see the guys that don't really have that body, but they're also just as powerful in some ways.
Look at Paulo Costa, bro. Insane.
Oh, jeez. Talk about gear. Talk about gear. They actually,
dude, it's no gear, bro. It's just acai. It's just acai from the
straight acai.
Straight acai.
Oh, jeez.
Do you ever hear that term?
What?
Like when someone's on steroids in jiu-jitsu, they're like, he's acai, bro.
Oh, no.
You never hear that?
I think you and John were the ones that kind of put me on the map for gear, because I didn't really.
Robbie says gear.
Robbie says, well, that guy. I forgot what I was saying gear, and like I was still using gear as like like apparel. Like I was messing with like, you know, like some new like boxing gear. Like when I was getting my kickboxing stuff, I like would refer to it as gear. And I think that's where like Robbie was like making jokes about it or something. But yeah, back to the fight. Dude, you know what? So I was on the Logan Paul hype chain. I like the Paul brothers. I enjoy watching Paul stuff all the time. I enjoy it.
It's a great podcast. Like not to, you know.
Yeah.
It's a pretty like it depends on the guest, but it's like pretty solid. Like they have a good thing going.
Yeah, I think that's like the hardest. I mean, just, you know, being a consumer of like content, and I love YouTube, and we both love YouTube, and like it's just like anything in general. Like you got to have the people on the screen, got to have some kind of camaraderie. And like an intangible that you can't really put your finger on, but you know it when you see it.
Would you put him on the podcast Mount Rushmore?
Ooh,
current podcast. Currently? I know exactly who mine is right now.
All right, you go first.
Joe Rogan, Fighter and the Kid with Brian Callen. Flagrant 2, not a question. And I'd consider him. It's possible he would be 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we have pretty similar tastes because I agree with all those. But I would put Impulsive up there.
Yeah.
And I would probably take him.
It's competing for 4, no question.
For me, I might take Flagrant 2 off. You know what it is? Flagrant was, you know, I told you this the other week or whatever when I was like, because I was watching all the time. I think, and I could be wrong because I haven't watched in a while, but they were having some guests on that I was kind of like just disinterested in.
Yeah.
Just from like a thumbnail perspective. So, you know, not to take anything away from the guests, just for whatever reason, I was like, don't, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was watching some clips and like, it seemed like Oshkosh and Schultz were just kind of like, I don't know, just the chemistry felt a little different. I don't know. I don't really know how to
you know what's
it.
funny? I actually have felt that way a little bit.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there was like a personal thing that went on.
Yeah, you never know, right? Because it's it's like that intangible stuff we were just talking about, where it's like, you know, like T-Fat K has been doing this shit too, where they got that new chick, that like softball girl. I don't know. I saw her once. Apparently she plays softball for Syracuse.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know what they're like. It's like, just give us fucking Callen and Schaub. You know, now that Callen doesn't have to do all those ridiculous TV shows.
Yeah.
I remember like back in the Red Chair days, like Callen be like, I got to go film. And it was like, dude, just like, this is more entertaining than the fucking Goldbergs. But yeah, now that Chappelle, you know how we all feel about Chappelle, love Chappelle, but like, you know, it's Fighter and the Kid.
Yeah.
And then they're like, and they're in that weird like diner booth.
Yeah.
Don't like, not a
What's
fan.
up with that, dude? Joe Rogan went to that red room for no reason.
What's that?
You know what I'm talking about? Joe Rogan had the red room set.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's gotta be tough, right? Because you got like, you don't even realize like how much people love your product.
Yeah.
Like obviously he knows, but like how much people love it.
Yeah.
Like you could easily, like Rogan could easily charge like, what would I pay for a monthly subscription? Maybe I'm in a minority or a smaller, like
$10.
I mean, I'd pay $20 a month for JRE.
I
don't know if I wouldn't go any higher.
I would not pay $20. $20 is like, think about that. That's more than Netflix. That's more than, you know, Disney Plus.
That. But like, dude, I'm probably getting ready to cut Netflix. Are you still using my Netflix, by the way?
Yeah.
No, it's a cool, because my grandma's using it too.
Yeah.
So all right, so maybe I won't.
I never gave out your password.
But I'll just say it right here for all of our listeners. But I don't really use Netflix anymore. But my point was just in a comparison standpoint, when I think about exchanging $1 for entertainment value, JRE $1.
Yeah,
it way outweighs all the other things. Like even if I stacked, if someone came up to me and was like, I had a gun to my head and was like, all right, you can have Netflix, Amazon Prime, and HBO. So all 3 premium networks, they're all like what, $10 a month, if not more. Or JRE. That's an easy decision.
I go Netflix.
Really? What the hell are you watching on Netflix?
A couple different things. So I watch a couple shows so I can be relevant for my students.
Like documentary stuff?
No, you know what I am worried about though? This is a serious concern of mine. Nobody likes American content anymore. And I don't mean that in like a nationalistic way. I mean like genuinely like half of the kids today like anime more than they like anything American. It's kind of interesting.
I never got the anime bug.
You never got the Robbie's got a little bit of it with the Dragon Ball.
My good buddies he lived in Hong Kong. He worked in Hong Kong for a summer. He got
anime's like
hard.
Anime storytelling is just so much better. And like, but I'm worried from like a country perspective, like why are the products that we're putting out as a country not good enough for the youth to care about? Like,
go broke, dude.
Like superheroes, Star Wars, and then you have anime, and then like sports, and that's all they care about. Like those 4 things. And sports is controlled by America, right? Because not that many kids like soccer. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
And then like but the anime thing, it's like that's another country, you know. And I'm not trying to like roast, but I just find it interesting that like, you know, the American market like is
I think you hit the nail on the head, Rich. I mean, what did you talk about as one of the key points is like you said, like anime's got really good storytelling.
Yeah. They're not worried about anything else. It's just about the product. They're not trying to like do any other messaging. Well, there's actually one anime that was made by a Nazi. So that has a lot of messaging, but everything else is like good storytelling.
Well, dude, I think that's the key, man. I mean, people understand what truth is, you know, in that metaphysical sense. Like, you know, that is what it is, man. It was like, I saw something funny the other day. I mean, this is kind of, you know, on that point of truth was, I saw this funny tweet where it was like, you know, obviously we're celebrating, you know, Gay Pride Month right now, Pride Month. And all of these, you know how like on Twitter and stuff, everyone's got, you know, corporations are multi-global. So you've got different entities. You've got like USA, Motorola, shout out Motorola, one of our other sponsors. Then you've got like Motorola in Middle East, not one of our sponsors, but it was showing like all of these US corporate handles and how they all in their logo had the pride flag in it. And then it showed their Middle East counterparts.
Yeah.
With no flag in it.
Yeah, of course.
Now, you could obviously do some fun Photoshop stuff, but at the same time, we all probably know that's probably accurate.
Profit all day.
All day. All day.
It's all
it's an interesting thing, right? Because it's like it goes back to that philosophical debate of one of my favorite quotes. You know, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah.
And that's a tough one to dissect.
Like, let's look at it this way, right? So, like, let's use Disney as an example, right? Because they're starting to put in quotas and whatnot, in a sense, and they're like change, so for example, one of my friends who's like super into comic books, they like literally like overnight changed characters into like these different gender identities or like completely changed their race or whatever overnight, and it's like, Disney isn't doing that because they're like really about the movement, right? They're doing that because like, you know, they have a pretty like anti-Semitic, like racist past. So now they have to like overcompensate for that to try to confuse the consumer, because like if they just double down, right, on that, they're done, right?
Yeah.
But if they overcompensate the other way, then you have people questioning, well, you know, they used to be like this and now they're like this, and they kind of, you know what I mean? It's all about the image, but you know that better than me, being in business. I have no business experience.
Hey, I'm not in business. I'm an artist. Andres Lee, check out our podcast. But no, speaking of doubling down, that reminded me of something I saw the other day on Twitter. It was fucking hilarious. So
doubling down.
So like, I guess I didn't send it to you, but like DeSantis was signing some bill.
Yeah.
And somebody was coming.
Oh, the transgender athlete bill?
Yes, but I don't know actually. I know he was been signing a lot, but he was signing a bill. It's not really about what he was signing; it's about the picture. So in the picture, there's this little girl next to him.
Okay.
So DeSantis, and if you actually look there, DeSantis has both his hands. He's not touching the girl. He's got both his hands on the desk or whatever, and somebody behind the girl is like touching, like just on her shoulder. And this lady on Twitter like comments like, you know, I'm just paraphrasing, but basically like yada, yada, yada. It's inappropriate. This girl doesn't look like she wants to be there. It's inappropriate that he has his hand on her.
Bro, what kid wants to be like next to a politician?
Listen.
You know? Yeah.
So then the chick was responding some replies because that girl that was right next to him was Ron's daughter. And and the chick, oh man, I'll have to pull it up and send it to you after the pod. But it was like so funny because the lady, instead of like apologizing, she was like, "Oh, it seems like the girl in the picture is actually Ron's daughter." It's like, And then she was like, but still, you know, it's inappropriate to have your.
Oh my God, that's
It's like the
wild.
ultimate double down. It was so funny. It was
I'm
so
all about it.
dude, man. I heard some crazy shit. Was it on fuck, what, you know, we all get our news from pods these days, and that's at least a place to start. But fuck, what was it? I guess it was the sex education they're teaching to some first graders now. Did you see what was going on in the news about that?
Oh no, but I feel like it's just some municipality trying to be like
Crazy. It was like, you know,
all that.
classic private school. You got to pay like $50K a year.
Oh well, if it's a private school, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, but
right?
it was like shit like
Teaching
you know,
sex in first
what
grade.
is first grade again? Like, how old are you in first grade?
7, 6.
Yeah, but it's basically like saying like there's, and you know, I don't want to butcher it too much because I don't recall, but it was basically throwing the woke Bible at like them and like telling them like if your like, you know, if somebody like your parent or whoever, like even like somebody in your family is like touching you, and I mean obviously not like touching you in that gross, you know, criminal way, but like it's like touching you, like basically like telling first graders or 6, 7-year-olds, whatever it is, like, you know, you can be, it's okay for you to tell you like your grandpa or something, you don't want to hug them, or like it was like all this weird shit, and like, you know, I'm probably not doing the best job of like giving it justice, but it was really disturbing to read into it.
I
And
mean, hey, if the parents want to send I mean, it's America, you know, if the
yeah,
parents want to send them to a school like that.
facts.
Also, I was just, first thing I thought of when you said like, oh, DeSantis is passing all these bills, I was like, okay, like, let me see how, like, how's the state legislature? Man has insane majorities. It's like 60% in the Senate, 65% in the House.
Really?
Like Florida Republic, like, I know I'm pretty apolitical now at this point. Like teaching, I like don't care anymore. Like I've fully separated myself. And
Really?
anyone who, yeah, like and also anyone who brings politics in the classroom, like
So I need to update the description for the podcast.
yeah, like I just like,
I'll put
I mean, you
former
could add that,
political
you could say, yeah,
candidate.
you could put former for sure. I mean, like, I wasn't real, like, I was, and I ran for office, but it was more so like test out theories,
Yeah.
than it was to like
Hey,
actually
I
run.
mean, how old were you? Like 19?
19, and I was in college. But
It's great
yeah,
for the brand.
it's crazy that like teachers who like try to impose political agenda on students, it's disgusting.
Yeah,
It
it's
is like
the red spot for it.
It is like the worst thing. Like they can, I'm cool with, even though it's illegal, I'm cool with teachers being like, oh, you know, like if students are like, oh, anyone who votes this way is bad, or anyone who votes this way is good. I'm cool with teachers being like, well, I voted this way.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I'm cool with that, even though that's illegal. I would never do it, but like, I'm just saying if teachers do it, it's not crazy to me. But if teachers are like, no, you need to believe this, like, dude, you should get that.
Yeah, it's tricky, man. But you know, you brought up an interesting point just saying that, because like it begs the question, because people don't like to talk. I mean, now I guess the world's changed in a lot of ways, but it used to be like you didn't talk about politics at work,
Yeah.
in school. You know, basically like these main arenas. And so it's like begs the question, like, where did you talk about politics?
Yeah.
And then that's where I guess the media was like, well, here, we'll take care of that.
Well, and the thing is though, the media, right, was pretty centrist, you know, like Walter Cronkite, like everything was pretty controlled, you know? So you also have to take that into account. Now you're in a stage of like deregulation and decentralization. And what happens with that is polarization a lot of the time. So, you know, but
that's a tricky one.
It's a tricky subject. Also, the primary system doesn't help, and how that fosters extremism in both parties and whatever. It's a mess, but like, it's actually not a mess. I say that, but like, comparatively speaking, we're doing great. Everyone's like, America's falling apart.
I get what you're saying. Like, it's not a mess, but is it just that like the average guy like myself, like just doesn't, for whatever reason, because like you put, you know, I'm a big guy of personal responsibility, but like, so then when you apply that same knowledge to like the political system, I'm like, so like, I always get confused with that. Like, is it that it's that complicated, or is it that it's disguised as being that fucking boring? Like, why is it that the average Joe is it because we're busy doing other things, paying bills? Like, what do you think it is?
I think it's busyness, but I'd also say it's laziness on both sides. Like, let's take someone who's like super popular, right? This is undeniable. Like Bernie Sanders and Trump, undeniably popular, right? What have they done?
Like outside of politics?
No, I mean like in politics, legitimately, like what has either of them done? Like obviously Trump had a much higher like situation. So maybe think of like a legislator, like a Mitch McConnell. Like if you go up to the average voter, right? Let's say they're a Dem, and let's say we have like a Republican over here. If you went up to the Democrat and they were a Bernie Sanders supporter, be like, hey, name 3 bills that he wrote.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's gonna be able to answer that question. If
Yeah.
I go up to 3 Republicans, I'm like, oh, you know, what bills has Mitch McConnell wrote? Nobody's gonna know that.
So this is, you know, from, you know, to the listeners, I do work in the technology space in some degree. So like thinking about that as a unique problem, where would somebody go? Like if I wanted to actually answer that question, well, I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to type in Google.
Yeah.
What bills, or I'm going to type in Bernie Sanders bill. What bills has Bernie Sanders passed recently? Yeah. Something like that. That's what it's going to start my search journey.
Yeah.
Is there like a central place where that shit's like really easy to digest?
Yeah. Library of Congress. It's got everything.
It was all done through the Library of Congress.
Yeah, it's like I can send you a link. But then there's also a difference between like sponsor, co-sponsor, right? That's a big one. And then there's also a difference between resolutions and bills. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, for example, like the Green New Deal, AOC, is a non-binding resolution, which essentially means that like she's saying, hey, we care about this, but it doesn't appropriate any money. It doesn't do anything. It just says, hey, we care about this. So it's like the ultimate activism bill, whether you support that or not. Like that's just facts. Yeah. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I wonder, you know, just not to get too into the weeds, but it's very curious. Like obviously it's so important to your community and the country, but it's just fascinating like how most people get kind of, you know, you start your journey, you learn about the 3 branches of government, you know, you get pushed along through your undereducation. And then, before you know it, you're like, you know, you're voting every 4 years.
People are woefully underprepared. And that's where like education comes in and like my passion
philosophically like, why do people, I guess people just think, you know, we've got, I guess the United States, we've developed this in our DNA where it's like, hey, we're always going to be at the top. Things are always going to be great. We're growing, we're growing. And like, for some reason we just
that's naive, but go on.
For sure. But it seems to be a reality, right? Like, I mean, totally
American exceptionalism.
Yeah, it's a fascinating one. It's interesting. We could probably do a whole couple hours on that. But anyway, so I think Floyd's gonna win through some technicalities.
What's gonna nah?
Like I think he's gonna win through like, well, they're not even keeping score, right?
It's is it an exhibition or is it a legitimately sanctioned fight? Because if they're wearing headgear, this fight's gonna suck.
What?
If they're wearing headgear,
did you not see the stuff that came out the other day?
No.
So 12-ounce gloves.
Okay.
Why?
Those are big gloves.
Yeah. What do they usually fight with? This is me knowing nothing about boxing.
I thought it was 8.
Really?
That's a
so no
big
headgear.
difference.
No headgear.
Okay.
No winner or loser.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Hands getting raised.
Wait, but then
literally.
No hands are getting raised? Wait, but then how are people betting on it?
Good question. I guess there's gonna be all these prop bets, like bloody noses. I don't know, shit like that.
Yeah, that's so stupid. That's crazy. They should just sanction it. Like, just put it in Nevada, bro. Right? Bribe someone. That's how Nevada works.
There's no reason. There's like, you know, you look at. It's always funny to try and look at things from both sides because like Floyd wants the money. Floyd, you know, if I was watching his interview on Showtime before they did the Face Off. And it was pretty cool because he was, you know, I've heard Logan talk a bajillion hours, but like to actually hear Floyd talk, it was kind of funny because he's like, I retired from boxing when he was like 39 or 40. He's like, I retired from that. He's like, I did not retire from entertaining and making money.
Yeah.
It's a great quote. Hey, you know, you've got 2 obvious, you know, 2 guys at the very top or have been at the very top of their craft. So they know what they're doing.
Some people hate Floyd. And like the way he carries himself, I like him. Like with the McGregor stuff, right?
You like him as like an entertainment object. It's not like
but I don't no, people like legitimately hate him though. Like people hate him like people hate Logan.
Get that though. I
Like,
don't get anybody to get, like Rogan said this, I saw this a long time ago. It's like anybody like that's legitimately like good at something, like, or maybe that, I'm gonna fuck up the quote, but basically like look at anybody who's like hating, and like that's where you gotta look. Like there's like nobody that's really good at anything is just sitting around hating people. Like even like with Shinigami, bringing it back to the Shinigami, it was because it was a great interview, and this came up at the end. And I was like, damn, like, why is this? I think part of it too is because also Shinigami, he's big into the Japanese culture.
yeah, with that
But
name.
I so much vitriol. Like, I didn't understand that. I never do when I see that, you know, and some, this is, you know, not super intuitive mindset, something that I've definitely grown into over the years. Cause I had my fair share of like, you know, having that anger and stuff, but it's so easy just to like, as soon as you identify it from yourself or somebody else, you see like all this hate, it's just red flag. It's like, boom. All right, let's explore this. Why? It's so obvious to me now. Like anybody that's like, oh, I hate that fucking person. It's like, whoa, why?
Yeah.
Let's really dive into that.
Do I hate anyone?
You know what I mean? Like it's just such a strong emotion to have for somebody that you've never even met. So it's like this clear example of projection. That's
especially for someone that you haven't met, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, like, you know, people have families, like people, I mean, you know, it's crazy.
It is weird. It is weird. Hey, Richie, I think we should wrap this up, brother.
I was just thinking it. I was like 7 o'clock. I'm hungry. Like this is a great time.
I could keep going, but I've got my battery's getting low. I changed my setup for the weekends. And then also like I'm curious, like I kind of want to look at this file and see how the audio sounds. I was just thinking about it, like, you know, because I've got a great frame for you, but like also I'm probably just going to be this small little square the whole recording. So I just want to like learn about how to do that and for the time and stuff like that.
Word. Sounds good.
There's like special podcasting software or something like that where you can switch screens, you know, when the person's talking.
You got a lot of content to do.
When did we start?
Like an hour ago.
Oh, that's it.
Oh my
god, well, that's a good place to start.
Oh, nice. And I'm going to the beach on Sunday now.
Oh, beach trip. Love it. Where are you guys going?
I don't know. I'll tell you when I'm not recording. Or when you're not recording.
Oh, you know, yeah, actually I'll tell you. Here, let me stop recording. I'll tell you this because it's